everybody, and welcome to a solo playthrough here. We'll be doing some Gregtech Community Pack. It's one of the Gregtech series, an older version of Minecraft. I believe it's 112. Yeah, it's 112.2 that it's on. And it's a very, very big pack with lots of stuff to do. So it's going to probably be a much more heavily edited video. However, I will go through this entire thing because I noticed that nobody has anything out there to kind of help you get into Gregtech if you're interested in. And it's all just a bunch of speed time-lapse stuff, which tried watching some of it myself so I could understand what I was getting into. Oh my goodness, does not help at all. But this Gregtech Community Pack has this wonderful quest book here that takes you through all the steps on how to do stuff, teaches you a lot much more about how to actually get into it, although it is, from what I understand, much simpler because everybody says around here the third age medium voltage or fourth age high voltage, which kind of gets shuffled around depending on what packs you're in. Normally you'd go to the moon in a lot of the packs. You'd use the old Galacticraft and go to the moon. This one doesn't have that, but all the same, it still helps you later go through and understand how to make these machines and what to do. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Start with this important information really quick. Oh, and by the way, this is also on peaceful. It does recommend that you play it on peaceful in here, just because you don't need any of the mob drops, and especially on your first playthrough, you're definitely going to want to have it on peaceful. It is kind of a nightmare to figure out what you're doing and try to fight off stuff. So, right here, we're going to go ahead and say, be sure to properly read this quest to not get lost during your playthrough. Informative quests such as this will appear in both the chapter it is unlocked and the informative chapter. Regularly come back to the tips and tricks tab if you feel like you forget something. Quests outlines are merely the main goals. Every single quest is extremely important or provides crucial information. If something is optional, it will be stated. This mod pack can be played on peaceful, and we recommend you do so. See, and that's where I've seen this before, trying to look at kind of what you're supposed to do. But you may also use the keep inventory game rule and abuse minimap teleport as you see fit. This mod pack is not focused on survival. Make good use of JEI, just enough items. Items have several crafting recipes, so do not stop at the first displayed. Identify patterns in auto-generated recipes. Example, all the iron-related items macerating into iron dust. When complex recipes arrive, we will make sure to guide you through the best path to a product. Alright, check that one off, and then we'll move over here to welcome. So, welcome to Gregtech the Community Mod Pack. This mod pack features Gregtech Community Edition Unofficial, also known as GTCEU or CEU. A continuation of Gregtech Community Edition, this mod provides a lot of more content through all the tiers up through Ultimate Voltage, a non-negligible amount of quality of life. This is a pure tech mod pack focusing on Gregtech and its progression. That is actually something else with Gregtech, as some of them will include magic mods to the progression too. But this one is just tech stuff. You will find no better place to learn about this mod and all the features it adds. This is true. This is one that I did look up a little bit, and people say, or one guy in particular said, this is the best one to learn and get into Gregtech. So if you want to learn, try this mod pack. It's really good. This quest book is very informative, so check it out to learn anything new about the mod. Click on the eye icon to toggle view mode to read any quests ahead of time. This is one of the many features added by Better Questing Unofficial, yet another great port of a mod. Lore: at the time of writing this, a few players have already completed the mod pack. They thoroughly enjoyed it. GT CEU really is what Gregtech Community Edition should have been. Alright. Now from there, it's got a couple different things. So this one here is just a refresh. If you end up having issues, it says, sadly offering a quest book refresh as quest rewards crash on dedicated servers. So read this through. Whenever you update the mod pack, run the command here. This quest does not run it. You have to type it yourself. Be sure to not forget it, as there is frequent changes to the quest book. Yes, I repeated myself several times, I know. But that way you won't forget, right? Fleeting face. So you don't have to do anything here. This one is just basically if if it breaks, then you come in here, you check this, you run the command. That's just kind of, I would leave it unchecked just because then you know this is where you come if you need help with that. Then we've got this here. So this is the terminal. This is the other item here in my hotbar down on the slot number 1 that you start with. The tablet device you spawn with is very valuable to do plenty of tasks in Gregtech. This quest explains how to use the terminal. This is merely basic information. You can skip for this for a while, as the terminal isn't used much in the early game. Terminal runs Greg OS, not an actual trademark. Any operating system which works with applications, or an operating system which works with applications. It has machine guides, multi-block guides, item guides, tutorials are what they sound like. So those are all what they sound like. Note they are currently still being worked on. I think they're much more thoroughly through this than the quest book allows or says, because I don't know if they've come back and edited the quest book yet. Guide editor is used to write guides. Just as above, the GT CEU wiki has some small instructions for how to write them. If you are feeling like helping us with filling up guides, please go ahead and message us on our Discord with the work you've put or contributed to our GitHub. System settings shows the system settings. You can change, set your own background picture, remove double confirmation on exit, and more. You can add some keybinds. Multi-block helper. This is split into 2 functions. A couple devices are required to be mounted, which so they have like devices that you can actually mount in there. Different other things like battery manager, you can add a battery in. Hardware manager is used to mount hardware such as batteries. The app store, so this unlocks a couple different apps. They do require specific mounted devices again, so another piece that you'll have to craft later on. They do have mini games, which you can always sit here and play mini games like Pong, Thesis Escape, and Minesweeper, but don't forget to get through on playing Gregtech. Don't get lost in that extra mini game. They do have an ore prospector, but you do need a portable prospector to use that. Or well, I guess you need an upgrade at least. You have a fluid prospector, recipe chart. So this is a wonderful chart planner. Build recipe chains and visualize them so you can understand like what kind of materials you're going to need. GT console configures machines as if you were using regular tools, but without using them. This is similar to remote access from central monitor. So I think this is another upgrade thing. World Prospector is X-ray vision for filtered blocks. I'm not exactly sure what that one is. I haven't seen that yet. Virtual tank viewer. So combination with Ender fluid covers. It stores information about all your virtual fluids. Cape selector. So you can select a cape. And teleporters. Sound like creates a portal frame to teleport you from anywhere to anywhere. This is a late game toy though. So go ahead and check that. So yeah, it is very much something that'll be useful much more later on, but getting to know a little bit about what it is early kind of lets you know that you can use it to look up some of the multi-block structures you'll see early, but we won't get into anything until the Steam Age. So now it's just asking us to go ahead. Minecraft Adventures starting with wood. It's truly unoriginal. I want a refund. If you're familiar with Gregtech, you may be aware of nerfed vanilla recipes. We have a few of them, however, wood to planks is unchanged. Rejoice. That is actually really nice, because I have seen some mod packs where they make you only get one, they only give you two, as a nightmare. But here, you'll get some food if you do this. If you're playing on peaceful, put it on a display. So yeah, we'll get some carrots. We are playing peaceful, so we won't need it. It's already night. We've had our nose in a book for the entire time so far. Well, so those pop up. Let's come over towards this forest here. Looks like we've got a dark oak forest. We've got a pond here. This will be useful for some early water. Some snow. I don't think snow is very useful in this mod pack. While we're walking around, we're going to want to look at what kind of ores we got here on the ground, too. Because we're going to be needing to get into ores pretty shortly here. And the way ore spawns work in this is there will be a spawned chunk of ore. And top left here, we even see it right now. This is an ore chunk. So if I hit F9, it'll bring up my chunks. And if I hit it again, you'll see, so this chunk right here we're in is a red garnet dust chunk. Now, it's either 2 or 3 in every cardinal direction, so north, south, east, and west. Every 3 blocks of each ore chunk, there will be another ore chunk. Now, depending on what dust is on the surface, is what dust will appear in the ground. And if we actually go back to the quest book and go to ore generation, you have all of these different ores. So the first one we're going to have to do is get to the ore introduction, but each of these will tell you about the relative Y that they spawn at, and they will spawn at in massive chunks with multiple ores in them. But we'll get to that here soon. Let's go ahead and just turn off those borders. We'll get back over here and get some wood. So I do know that there is an interesting little thing in here with Gregtech as well. So I'm just going to get the wood that I need for a second for completing the quest, which is 6 logs. Okay. That's correct. So yeah, 6 logs, and then we got to craft a crafting table. And this is a crafting quest, so you actually do have to craft it. There we go, we've completed it. So now let's kind of see what other stuff it's got. It has some food for us. So I must ask you two questions. We're gonna go ahead and do that one really quick. So we do have to get ourselves a flint axe. So we're gonna have to go find some flint really quick. But did you know Gregtech has tool equivalent to vanilla tools? Some of them are actually better. So this is one of them. This is a Gregtech flint axe instead of a Minecraft axe. All of the axes are replaced with the Gregtech axe. But here the axe, for example, is one. This one is a beast. Mine a wood log, so if you break a wood log, it will fell the entire tree for you. Who needs ore excavation? Not me, not you. Their durability wears down really fast, so you may want to make them out of diamond, but not vanilla diamond X, no. Take these spruce saplings and grow a 2x2 giant tree. There are a lot of smelting coming up, and wood planks are a surprisingly very effective fuel source. Any quest with Gregtech tools can be completed with the tool crafted from any material, not just the one displayed. So, and the thing is I don't think, we'll go ahead and look it up really quick. No, you can craft a wooden axe. However, I don't think this one will fell the trees. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can find some gravel really quick. so we can fell the trees a lot faster, because then we can get more wood up and running. And the one thing about Gregtech is you need a lot of everything. And so, while you do need a lot of everything, they have kind of made it a little bit easier to get materials faster. There we go. There we got one flint. Just gotta get one more piece so we can get ourselves the first axe. There we go. Okay. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of gathering tons of materials right away. Just gonna get through some of the little stuff first. If I do this, get some sticks, make an axe, that'll complete that quest. Because the axe's durability is a little bit important for me early on. Just gonna break that with our hands. Come back over to that tree that we were felling. In fact, let's also complete that quest. We got some spruce saplings so we can grow a bigger, taller tree. Now, let's go ahead and just chop the one wood. And you'll see as it goes up, it will eat the durability of it pretty fast. And it tried to chop way more trees than I thought it would at once, so it's a minor problem. Oh, and we completed a quest by accident. We're gonna have to go read that really quick. Let's go ahead and go look at that. So, it was this one, charcoal. So charcoal smelting in furnace is disabled. You'll need a coke oven. Wood planks are still pretty good as a fuel source, or furnace fuel, especially since you get them from one log. If you want to enable charcoal smelting regardless, you can head to the Gregtech configs. So, lore, there are plans to port charcoal pile igniter from Gregtech 5, a primitive way to get charcoal at great yield, but at the cost of manual labor. They don't have that, I don't think, still. This quest will get us some charcoal for getting a ton of wood already. Let's look at that. We got a stack at 11. That's a lot of charcoal right away. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more stuff set up, gathered a couple other logs here, and probably complete this other gather quest, because you got to gather quite a bit of materials here. They want us to get 4 sugarcane, 32 sand, 32 clay, 2 rubber trees, and 8 furnaces. But really quickly, it's just, here's a list of some of the things you need for the early game. Collect more than in this quest, you will need more. I would advise doing this quest first and take the reward. That way you can do a little bit of the main progression before being required to go mining. Rubber trees are found in forest, jungle, or swamp biomes. 8 furnaces might seem excessive, but trust me, you will want them. And it is true. You want to be doing batch smelting as much as possible, and you do want to not only batch smelt, but try to mine and mine and mine. If you want to overcome the barrier that it takes to get through this pack, your best bet is just to put in the effort to mine, put in the labor to mine, and you will get way further, way faster than doubling your ore slowly, because at first, your first little macerator you get is a steam powered one, and it's really slow. So just better for you to overcome how slow it is with quantity rather than trying to get ore doubled until you can get your first multi-block structure, which is a macerator that actually does macerating in batches of 8, I believe, at a time. So, anyways, we will be back once I've got some of the gathered materials, got some more wood. So yeah, I'll be right back. So we're back. I've collected nearly everything. I've gotten way more than this here, besides the furnaces. I still have only 8. But if you're looking here, I got a bunch of stacks. Got, what, 6 stacks plus 1 of sand. Probably just toss that sand out because that's going to take an inventory slot I need. So we got 6 stacks of sand. We got 3 stacks of gravel. That's not in the quest, but we can make some really useful stuff with that. We got 5 stacks of clay. Got the 8 furnaces, a full stack of sugar canes, and we've just found rubber trees, which the rubber trees, if you read the quest, actually says that rubber trees can be found in forests, jungles, or swamps. And so I did find out it does not spawn in the dark oak forest or the birch forest. It is regular forest. So you do have to find a swamp, regular forest, or jungle so far is what I can see to find them. Now we just got to get 2 saplings, but as you chop them down, not only are they going to drop wood, they will drop rubber. Now we can also get the saplings here. And we're all done. I'm going to continue collecting the rest of this rubber wood that I see around here. Got all of this, plus a little bit more. I'll leave my crafting table here for a second. But they're quite prevalent once you find them, so it's not like hard to find once you find the right biome. It's just you have to find the right biome first, and then they're pretty easy to find after that. So, if you're struggling, just keep searching for the right biome, and you'll be able to find it. And because, you know, there's a patch 5, like right here, I did notice that there was a bunch over here a little bit further too. They seem to almost kind of be stacked together quite prevalently. So see here we got like another 5 or 6. I'm just going to keep chopping down until we got a full stack of each almost. Don't want to be too full on all of this just because, oh, that's the wrong tree. Well, probably could do 2 more. No, it's not short enough. Yeah, I think we will call it there for that. The other thing I was doing, I turned them all off so you can't see it, but using Zaora's map, you go on mine, I changed it to decimal point on the numpad so I can add a new waypoint, but we have tons of orb waypoints. Just walking around searching for ore. The only one that I know for a fact I haven't found is diamond, which is kind of a pain because that's something you do need on an earlier machine, but we will get a little bit more into that in just a little bit. So I do think this is probably a good place for us to start up somewhere relatively close by here. I think I'm just going to dump these sticks because I can get wood relatively quickly. Actually, might as well just go use the rest of this axe on one of those trees. So we're going to go back over to this rubberwood tree. Oh, and it broke right on the first one. So we're just going to break the rest of this tree. Probably toss 1 of the rubberwood so I can pick up my crafting bench. So we'll toss that. And then let's go ahead and get over to here. Pick up this crafting bench. We're going to move to a little bit of a better area for me to sit for a while. Oh, don't want that. Or that. Okay. So I did honestly don't know how to open up the mini map a little bit better. But I did see a better spot to go set up shop. Just because we're in a flatter area. Well, we do need to be close to water, so it might actually just be better to set up here, because we do have lava right over there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up shop right over here. I am going to go ahead and turn all of these into planks. For a second, let's go ahead and put our crafting bench back down. I'm going to go ahead and do a set of chests. So we can just dump most of this in here. We're gonna shift space, dumps everything in our inventory in there, and then we'll just pull out what we need, which is do this stuff and that, just to get some building done real quick. Let's go ahead and check on that quest and get that 24 iron ingots we get for gathering all of that. Go ahead and slap that in on there. And then just a quick look. So we do have Introduction to Ore Generation. And so this one is ore generation in Gregtech is very difficult, or sorry, very different to vanilla or normal modded Minecraft. All ores generate in huge veins which can contain thousands of ore blocks. This is very true. They're all like just one big huge ore vein. The full extent of ore generation is explained in the Tips and Tricks tab, but here is what you need to know. Ore veins generate in a grid. So what I was talking about earlier, every vein is spaced by 3 chunks from one another in the cardinal directions. We have added in-game info to your display if you are located in an ore vein. So that was the thing in the top left I pointed out earlier. If you're in an ore vein chunk, you will see it on the top left, as seen in Gregtech New Horizons. Surface rocks indicate a nearby type of vein. Pick one up and check JEI. Press U to see the types of ore beneath it. So you can right-click on the dust to pick it up. Or I think you actually have to punch it. You just punch it real quick, pick it up. If you click U on it, I'll do that here in a second to show you how that works. But then it'll show you what kind of ore is in the vein. And then it also says it's good practice to make waypoints. Default is B. I did change that from B to my decimal point, so probably best to do that because it does conflict, as it says here, with bubbles. To every vein you find and label their type. You may want to come back to it several times. So that's, like I said, I did all those waypoints while I was searching for stuff. Go ahead and check that off and claim our 32 cobblestone. Okay. Now that we've got that done, we can also come over to ore generation. And we can look at this. So this first one explains it a lot better. Some of the details are repeated from the introduction quest, but we feel like we need to expand the explanation if you want to know all the details. The veins and their details can be found in JEI. They contain up to 4 different ores. Surface rocks indicate the type of veins that are below them. In JEI, press U on the tiny dust you mined from the rock and navigate the ore page. This contains details on what types of ores and their generation patterns, their spawning dimensions, and Y level range. Their spawning weight, which is the chance it spawns. So that's just whether and how many. It's kind of how many of those will spawn in relative to other ones. Ore veins generate in a grid. Same thing as said. The spawn is at the center of the chunk, which have both their X and Z coordinates be 1 plus a multiple of 3. It will be simpler if you simply rely on in-game info displayed. In most cases, there will be surface rocks at the center of the chunk, which provides completely accurate information for the ore. However, ore veins may be deleted by caves, oil deposits, or from trying to generate above ground. So that is one thing that you can come across, even like the diamond ore veins. If a cave generates, it might decimate the entire ore vein and you will not have the ore, which kind of sucks. But that's just Minecraft generation for you. It is good practice to make waypoints because you want to come back several times. Each ore vein is always 7 blocks tall. So that's something else to remember, is the highest ore will always be at the top, and then 7 blocks deep will be the last of the ore, and there is no ore after that or before that, which is kind of nice because then you don't have to sit there and go, well, how far do I have to mine? So it makes it much simpler to mine it. Generates in 4 different patterns. You have the top ore, highest 4 layers. The bottom ore is on the bottom 4 layers. Between ore, which is in the middle 3, and sporadic, which generates all throughout the vein, but is the least amount. Usually has the lowest weight. Same ore type can be in 2 different generation patterns, such as cassiterite veins. In the LV age, you can craft an ore prospector. So once we get to the second age, we can craft an ore prospector to help us find those ores that we're looking for, which is definitely going to be needed at some point. Because as I said, I did not find a diamond ore vein. It's going to be a little bit difficult to find. Because it literally is a diamond ore dust that you're looking for on the top surface. And I found none of them so far. We'll go ahead and check that off just to say that we did that. And then now it'll go ahead and let you look at all of the different things. We have found most of these. I found a lapis, we got a soapstone, I have oil sand, sapphire, redstone, apatite. I have a red garnet, we do have an olivine. This is a salt one, I believe. Yeah, salt ore vein. Yeah, I have found one of those. Then we've got our graphite. Source of diamond and carbon. I have not found a graphite. So we do need to find the diamond ore dust to get the graphite and the coal. And we got, I do have a cassiterite, I do have a coal. I have not found a caliphrite. Chalcoperite. So I have not found that one. I have not found pyrite. I have found magnetite. Limonite I have not found. We do have, this is mineral sand, basaltic mineral sand. I have found that. We have found some, I have found mica. I've got nickel, gala, and this one I haven't found either. So we basically got all but like 4 of them in the overworld figured out, which is pretty nice. So that'll be good. Now, from here, let's go ahead and set up just like a little bit of a place to build and get started at. And once I've got that done, I think we'll just actually end it here for now. I'll get a little base set up to start, and we will see you guys next time, where we will explore some more of this introduction area, getting set up to get a coke oven and some bronze so we can enter the Bronze Age for the Steam Age and get started in here. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye!